This is going to be our very first conference that we're going to. I don't really know what the conference is going to be like. I've never been to one. I expect it just to be a big, bold community. A big sea of bald and wigs, and I'm really looking forward to being able to meet people from all over the country, and maybe even all over the world.
So if I could describe my first conference in one word, I would say incredible.
Because when I walked in, I saw all of these bald children, and I was like trying to hold back the tears. And I'm a big guy. I'm like 6 feet, 225 pounds, but actually 250. I try to fluff it. So anyway, but actually,
I felt like it was only me who had it, and then I came here and I was like, everybody else has it.
It really started to set in like, this is going to be life-changing. I was just very happy that I had finally seen someone existed who looked like me, who was going through the same thing I did.
You meet other people, you find out you're not alone.
You met more and more people with the condition.
The cab driver from New York, you know, the hairstylist from LA. It's all walks of life. Yeah, we're all bonded.
As soon as we heard about the conference, we knew we wanted to come. So we wanted to go to the conference to actually meet other people live in person.
And I found out about this conference and I thought, okay, I'm going to definitely go to that. And so I did.
And then once we got to the conference, our first one was 5 years ago, and it was just totally magical the whole time. And then I'll start to cry if I talk about it.
And I met hundreds of people that had alopecia areata of different forms.
I was eating breakfast at a restaurant with my boyfriend just a moment ago before we came here, and there was a table of 10 shiny bald heads over here, and there was another table of 4 beautiful bald women over here, and just felt really, you know, very proud, very, you know, just a great feeling to see people just embracing themselves as they are, not feeling like they have to hide.
It was the first time I've ever met somebody else with alopecia areata, so I was excited and scared at the same time.
My first NAF conference was the second conference in New Orleans, and it was 1986. And it was an amazing experience. It was family and people cared, and we were all together, and that it was okay. It was okay to have alopecia areata, and that we were all there to help each other. And that was my biggest memory, and then to stay in touch with people and just continue to have fun and be able to laugh and use that as therapy and healing.
I was part of the second conference, I think in '86, and then have been coming to conferences ever since. Year after year, they got better and better and better and better. And to me, I think it's probably the one most life-changing experiences that can pole vault you into life if you have alopecia areata. As a child, as an adult, as a parent, I think this is absolutely the place to be.
There was 15 people there, as I said, but the next conference, we had 30. And the next conference, we had 60. And the next conference, we had 130 or 120. And it just went up, the attendance just went up like that.
It's where I can be with a ton of people that are going through the same thing as me, and it's where I can make these videos, which I love to do. Since I love filmmaking and Casey loves music, we thought, why not put them together to make it into something that can help people and make people feel better about themselves.
A lot of parents have stopped and said, my kid watches that video all the time over and over again. It's like giving them a lot of confidence. It makes them feel a lot better about the condition.
It's pretty amazing, like when you really think about it, to know that we actually make an impact in other people's lives.
The Saturday Night Dance is one of the highlights, you know. And very often people look forward to seeing what we're going to dress as when we come to the Saturday Night Dance.
We like to have a lot of fun, and we know a lot of people, and I don't know, we like to make sure that everybody's having a good time, that they're taken care of.
That was a hoot.
Everybody's there for each other, and what really pains me though is this is such a great conference, but for all the people who are here, I worry about the people who aren't here. The people who are still afraid to come out of the rooms, who, you know, can't bring themselves to acknowledge that they have this disease and that it's okay.
The value of the conference it's invaluable.
The conference brings together people from all over and is a great asset and a great way for people to not feel they're alone.
All the conference has been great, but the first one, there were so many first experiences and so much relief.
It sounds like camp.
Before the conference, we knew that we were not alone, but we didn't know how much not alone it was.
I think over the years of going to the conferences, I have more confidence. At first it was really hard. I didn't want to take off my wig. I had to be begged to take off my hair, but it just got easier. And now I realize all these people are like me and they're going through the same thing, so I could just take off my hair and they can't say anything because we're all the same.
And then as I'm walking away from the counter to register, I see like a group of individuals and they look just like me.
And we get up to our room, and our room just so happened to look over the pool. And I open the shades and I'm like,
You see like bald heads in the pool, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone.
I stepped foot in the hotel and I seen like a whole bunch of bald girls run across me. I'm like, oh my god, people actually look like me. I've never seen somebody else without hair.
I remember the drive up to Louisville. We didn't really know what was going on, but then we got there and Kaya's face just like, oh my gosh, there are other people that look like me.
And Kaya looking around and saying there's other kids that look like me.
I don't remember that at all.
That was really cool to see that she knew that there are other people like her and that she wasn't the only person.
It still feels good to be with a lot of people that are going through the same thing as you.
You know, that you hear that resounding comment of, I'm not the only one, and they look just like me. And this is great because
you realize, wow, yeah, I'm not alone. There are other people that are going through the same thing that I am. And I think that's why it was such an emotional experience for me and why I was spending the entire conference crying, because I just went on that emotional roller coaster. But I'm so thankful that I did, because
it brought the whole realization that alopecia is a real thing. I'm not alone.
And it's like, and I'm like, oh my God, look at all these kids with alopecia areata. But then I felt in a sweet way that my son wasn't alone.
The people that you meet are just, you can't beat it.
I'm so excited to come every year.
And I still, after all these years, I'm still in touch with people who I met at that conference. Some of them are here today.
And this is what the conferences do on a much bigger scale. It's just incredible how it changes lives.
It's telling us that it really doesn't matter whether a person has hair or no hair, which is kind of what we want to impart on Mia as she grows up.
I've made lots of friends from the conference, and we've stayed friends. We keep in touch. Of course, you meet new people every year, but you all kind of stick close. It's nice.
So I feel very empowered by my experience with alopecia, by going to the NAF conference every year and seeing all of my wonderful family and friends.
He came back glowing,
I would tell somebody that's scared to go to a NAF conference that, you have to come.
I think the best part was just making friends. Like, I made friends who became family.
Going to my first NAF conference, I was scared. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But obviously, coming to NAF was the greatest decision of my life.
And by the time I left the conference, I no longer felt alone. And I definitely had made some lifelong friends who I still keep in contact with today.
Yeah, that's a good time, yeah.
That's a lot of bald people.
There's a lot of bald people.